Right about now, it's about time for us to have a real conversation about what's going on with our beloved Georgia Bulldogs football team so far in this 2024 season. In order to go on a championship run, you have to have the ingredients, the main ingredients. We had the ingredients in 2021. We had the ingredients in 2022. Elite players on defense, an elite coaching staff, an elite head coach. We have all of that. All the boxes are checked on all of that. We have elite defensive players. We have an elite O-line. We have an elite coaching staff. And we have an elite head coach. But there's one thing missing. There is one more piece to the puzzle that we had in 2021 and definitely in 2022. And I'm going to share that with you today. So go get your popcorn. I'm Armando Black, and this is the Dog Call. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Dog Call. I'm your host, Armando Black. Salute everyone. Salute. I hope everyone has had a blessed and productive Wednesday. Happy hump day. Salute. Time to talk about some Georgia Bulldogs. Our Georgia Bulldogs coming off a devastating loss. They put up a fight at the end, but we came up short against the Alabama Crimson Tide. So now it's time to move on. It's time to move on, back to business, back to the basics. Okay. Now, as I was discussing at the top of the program, this team is different. We have to be totally honest with ourselves and just address the elephant in the room. And I do mean literally the elephant in the room. This team is different. This team is nothing. It's missed. I'm not going to say it's nothing like the 2021 or the 2022 team. It's missing a few things. It is absolutely missing a few things. And one thing that I feel that this team is missing is passion. For whatever reason, and I don't know if it's just me, but some of you that are watching this are going to watch the playback. Leave a comment in the comment section and let me know, how do you feel about this? Is it me, or does it feel like this UGA team is kind of complacent? They lack passion. You see, in 2021, that team came into the season with passion. That 2021 team had passion. That 2022 team had passion because so many people in the offseason, the naysayers, the sports media, the college football, so-called experts, quote unquote experts, were saying that it was a fluke, that it'll be another 40 years before Georgia ever sees another national title. So it was a challenge to go into the 2022 season and shut the naysayers up. So that off season, and I noticed it even in the G-Day game, season opener against Oregon, the way they came out. Just think about it now. Think about the difference in how the Dogs came out against Clemson versus how we came out against Oregon in 2022. Think about it. Just open your minds and think about it. Picture the Oregon game. Picture the Clemson game. Big difference. It was night and day. You saw passion. You saw passion in that Oregon game. You saw passion in Bank of America Stadium in 2021. You did not see passion in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium Labor Day weekend when we faced Clemson. Lack of passion. There were some times during the Tennessee Tech game that it just they were playing lackluster, and then it definitely showed against Kentucky. But we swept it under the rug because the dogcasters, and a lot of them are Disney dogcasters, were telling us, "Oh, we always have issues against Kentucky. We always have problems with Kentucky. Kentucky has always been our boogeyman." But the truth is, the truth, the harsh reality is, this team lacks passion. They did not show passion Saturday night, honestly. They did not have that eye of the tiger. They did not have it. They weren't hungry. This team does not look hungry. Once again, we have the talent. We have an elite coaching staff. We have an elite head coach. We have a projected first rounder quarterback, starting quarterback. We have all the elements it takes to win a national title, but you have to have passion and you have to be hungry. Bama was hungry Saturday night. They had the passion. You look at those players' eyes on the sideline. You look at Bama sideline, you look at Georgia sideline. It's like night and day. Now, I don't know what's going on, and a lot of people talk about players getting complacent, players, coaches do too. The question is our coaching staff, are they hungry? Are they as hungry as they were in 2021? Are they hungry as they were in 2022? That's a good question. And we're going to find out. You see, Bama is done. That game is done. It's over. Now, what I want to see is how they respond during adversity. I want to see how they get up off the mat and perform like a champion. I want to see them have that dog in them. Because I'm here to tell you that Auburn team is nothing to play with. Let me tell you something. Peyton Thorne put up over 100 yards of rushing on us. He put up a total of almost 300 yards of offense on us. They had us on the ropes. They were leading in the fourth quarter. They dominated us that entire game last year. Okay. Auburn could very well be undefeated right now. They could have easily defeated Cal. They could have easily defeated Arkansas. They had Arkansas on the ropes. They could have won that game last Saturday against Oklahoma. They've been knocking on the door. Right now, this is going to be a desperate Auburn football team coming in Sanford Stadium Saturday. This team is nothing to play with. This team is hungry for a win. And they're not a terrible team. I hear a couple of these Disney dog casters talking about how bad Auburn is, how terrible Auburn is. Heard it all before. Heard the same thing about Kentucky. They said that same crap about Kentucky. Oh, Georgia should do this. Georgia should do that. A couple of the fools were talking about we were going to drop 40 and 50 points on Kentucky. We cannot afford to come out slow against this Auburn team because we're going to be facing, in my opinion, the best running back that we've seen all season, Jaquez Hunter. Peyton Thorne was a thorn in our side, literally, last year when we played Auburn. They have an elite wide receiver. They have an elite wide receiver. That Coleman kid is elite. A future NFL player. I don't know if he'll be a first rounder, but he's going to be playing on Sundays. That kid is special. We cannot jerk around Saturday. We got to come out and take care of business. And I do mean we got to come out and take care of business. It is imperative. We cannot come out and falling behind Auburn, because this is what I'm about to tell you about this Auburn team. They got a defense. They have a defense. The 3 games that they lost, they shot themselves in the foot on offense. Play calling was kind of suspect. But that defense, that Auburn defense, is legit. They don't give up many points. And they will smother you. So Mike Bobo needs to figure it out. Carson Beck needs to. That dog that we saw in him in the second half, like I spoke about the last time when I put him in the doghouse on Monday. This notion that Carson Beck doesn't have that dog in him. This notion that Carson Beck can't sling the ball down the field, he can't hit deep passes. That myth was debunked Saturday night, because everything that they were saying that he couldn't do, he did it. He hung over 400 yards passing on that Alabama Crimson Tide defense, and he did it coming from behind. He did it being down at halftime, 28-0, and still came out and had a terrible, in my opinion, a terrible third quarter. But that fourth quarter, he damn near won that game with his arm, just slinging it down the field. Explosive plays. So the notion that we have issues creating explosive plays down the field, that myth is debunked. Because we are capable of making explosive plays down the field. The question is, will the play calling be elite? Will the coaching staff be elite? Will Carson Beck come out that same look that he had in his eye in the fourth quarter? That same look that Arian Smith had in his eye in the fourth quarter. That same look that Dylan Bell and Kobe Young, the performance that they put on in the fourth quarter, that's what we need to have for 60 minutes. Moving forward, that BS about playing one half, that can't fly anymore the rest of the season. There are no breaks. Now, some of you may say, well, Mississippi State is not a threat. Massachusetts. Listen, we need to come out and make a statement in every game These slow starts, and we found out these slow starts can come back to bite you. So wherever the hell Kirby is telling these kids at halftime and having them coming out like game busters, he needs to say that crap at the beginning of the game. His pregame speech, maybe his pregame speech skills he needs to convert back to the pregame speech. And I've heard the pregame speeches he was giving back in 2021. Maybe he needs to go back and use some of those pregame speeches that he was giving Stetson Bennett and Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter now, and Lewis Seen and Channing Tindall. Now, on that note, our defense, ladies and gentlemen, let's just keep it 100% real. I'm going to keep it 100% real with all of you. Listen to me real good. This defense is not on the level that it was in 2021 and in 2022. This defense is not on the level. I think this defense has taken a step back since last year. I don't think it's as good as it was last year. There are some deficiencies on defense, mainly tackling. Tackling is one of the serious issues that we have on our defense, and it has to change. It needs to change, because if it doesn't, it's going to cost us dearly. Because in my opinion, Alabama's not the best team that we're going to see on our schedule. We have two teams, in my opinion, that are better than Bama. Let me tell you, and let me just say this. I'm going to do a video and talk to you Bama fans. Both teams were exposed last Saturday. Both teams only played 30 minutes of football. Bama played 30 minutes of football in the first half, and they didn't do crap in the second half. One lucky ass play by Ryan Williams. Okay, whoop-de-damn do. Georgia didn't do diddly squat in the first half, but in the second half, they flipped the light switch on. Neither team played an entire 60 minutes. That's not going to work against the Tennessees. That's not going to work against the Texas. And it damn sure is not going to work against Ohio State Buckeyes. In my opinion, right now, from my eye test, pound for pound, that's the best team in the nation. And they have some big games coming up, and they're going to prove and show everybody what type of talent that they have on that squad. From what I saw last Saturday, those two teams that were playing on the field in Tuscaloosa, neither one of them would beat that Ohio State team. I'm just being honest with you. From my eye test, both Georgia and Bama have serious issues in that secondary. And you're talking about going up against a team that has arguably the best set of wide receivers that I've seen. I haven't seen a crew of wide receivers on a team at one time like this. Man, you gotta you probably have to go back to the 01 Hurricanes. I would say the 01 Hurricanes, the 2004 USC Trojans, and the 2019 LSU Tigers. I would put the 2020 Bama team in, but remember Jalen Waddle was hurt for most of that season. So I really can't really count him in that wide receiver core, even though he did play, start the season off and played a couple of games, but he wasn't productive on that squad for majority of the year. But this Ohio State team, this crew of wide receivers that they have, in my opinion, is better than all of them. So listen, So for everyone that's saying, well, Bama and Georgia, this is going to be that they were going to be in the national championship game. I doubt that. I doubt that. I can see one of them going to the national title game and playing Ohio State. But from what I saw, the performance that I saw this past Saturday, I don't see either one of those teams beating Ohio State. Hell, honestly, another team that I'm very impressed with that has, just dominated this year and played 60 minutes of football, without a doubt, the Tennessee Volunteers. I can't stand them. I don't like them. I never liked Tennessee. They're one of our hated rivals. But I got to give them credit. They've been playing their asses off. Josh Heupel has done a hell of a job with that team and that program. You got to give him his props. And speaking of Josh Heupel, there are 3 coaches that watched that game in Tuscaloosa, and they're licking their chops. They were licking their chops, looking at how both secondaries, in my opinion, look pathetic. Ryan Day, Josh Heupel, and Steve Sarkisian. They had to have been somewhere Saturday night licking their chops, saying to themselves, wow, can it be this easy? So for everyone that's predicting a Bama Georgia national championship game rematch, I highly doubt it. And for those of you that are predicting a Bama Georgia rematch in Atlanta, I don't know right now. I honestly don't know. I don't know if number one, I don't know if Georgia could get there because they have a gauntlet. Texas, Ole Miss, Tennessee. They have a gauntlet. A gauntlet. And Bama still has Tennessee, Missouri. And I tell you something now. Missouri has been playing a little lackluster, but Missouri, the way that team is structured, that's a matchup issue for Bama because Bama's weakness is that secondary. And Missouri has a damn good old line that could counter that Bama defensive front, which I don't really think is elite compared to last year and the Saban years. This Bama defensive line is nowhere near the level of the D lines that Saban had during the time he was at Bama. So this is going to be a long season. This is not over by far. So a lot of the naysayers in the media, ESPN, they're hyping Bama up, and hey, Bama fans, you can feel good, but I'm telling you, you're going to be feeling the same way you felt after that Rose Bowl because you all last year after you beat Georgia, you was so sure that you was getting ready to get number 19. And I told you it would be a long time before you get 19, before you ever get number 19. And I'm telling you again now, you're not going to get number 19 this year. It's not going to happen. Not with that secondary. And not with that lackluster pass rush. You have no elite pass rush. Nothing like what you had last year. Will Howard and those Buckeye receivers would pick that Bama defense apart. Nico and those Tennessee wide receivers would pick that Bama defense apart. So, hey. But as far as my Georgia Bulldogs right now, from my assessment, from my evaluation, we lack passion. It's not talent, it's passion. And they're not hungry. Hopefully, they prove me wrong. Hopefully, they come out with passion and hopefully, they come out hungry. But it has to start this Saturday. So the only thing we can say is, hey, we'll see. It's a wait and see thing. It's a wait and see thing from here on out. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is set in stone. There's no guarantee that we're going to beat Auburn. I keep hearing about a 24-point spread. I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare touch that. Because I see no signs of us being able to beat a team like Auburn by 24 points. Because we struggle scoring points. We struggle scoring touchdowns in the first half. And this Auburn team has a damn good running game. They're one of the best running teams in the SEC. That is a matchup issue for Georgia, because we have issues with teams that like to run the ball. So Georgia has to get it together. The players have to get it together. They have to do some soul searching. The Bama game is over. It's time to move on. And it's time to move on to Auburn. Because this Auburn team, I would not take them lightly. I would not take them lightly. I want to thank everyone for coming out, joining me here tonight. Please hit that like button and leave a comment in the comment section. What do you think? What do you think? Does this Georgia team lack passion? Do you think this Georgia team is hungry as they were in 2021 and 2022? I don't think so. I think that is the problem. You can have all the talent in the world. You can have elite players. You can have an elite coaching staff. But if you lack passion and you lack the hunger and the desire to go out and dominate, you'll have these type of results of what we had in Kentucky and like what we had in Tuscaloosa. Everyone, I'm Armando Black. Peace and blessings. Hit that like button. Love you all. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night. And like I always say, take care of yourselves and each other. And one last thing. Go Dogs! Sick 'em. Woo, 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 woo.